Everybody. It is Friday, and there's so many things going on at Midnight Publishing. I can't even keep up anymore. And that's not a bad problem to have. This morning, I found out that all the lives that I have put up over the course of putting up lives and doing the podcast, I've had a total of, this isn't a count of all of them that became reels, a total of 13,151 views. This tells me that people are paying attention, watching, maybe even sharing. I don't know. It means that my authors are getting out there, which is the whole purpose. And it makes me very, very proud. On the website, we are at 1,470 views and 945 visitors. This is just since I started the website. Because as indie authors, we do not have deep pockets. I don't charge to publish my authors. All I ask is they help promote their work. And I have to say, they're getting there. They're cross-promoting each other. They're encouraging each other. They're watching out for each other. And that's what it's all about. That is how I built my brand 20 years ago. There were 7 of us. And we all helped each other. Whenever one of us had a new book come out, everybody else would just share it. And that's what we have to do in this business. So with that being said, I want to let you know that Linda Ryan, who writes under L.E. Ryan, her book comes out on the 27th. It's called Secrets. And this is another dream that she had for many, many years. She's got some other books in the works. I can't wait to get my hands on them. The book is about a young woman who has a certain ability, and that is to see things in dreams that are going to happen. She's young. She goes to work for the Atlanta Police Department as a stenographer in the 1970s. And she gets crossways with one of the detectives. She gets called out when there's a murder, a domestic dispute, whatever, that the detectives have to go and investigate. She goes with them. She also takes notes, interviews people, interviews witnesses. She also does that in what they call the cop shop. But she also sees things. And she is afraid to tell these cops that she sees things because her mother was also gifted. And when she tried to help a friend, the friend turned on her. So her mother didn't use her gift anymore. And when Brianna starts manifesting her gift, her mother gets unhappy. But she can't help it. Brianna is a very good soul. She wants to protect the men that she works with. And sometimes she's like a bull in a china shop, trying to protect these men who, you got to remember, the mindset of the men in the 1970s was, me big strong man, you weak little woman. And the attitude was, women should be seen and not heard. It was changing, but it was still there. She slowly gains the respect of these detectives in the cop shop because she keeps them from being killed. She makes a few faux pas in her duties as a stenographer, which gains her entry into the academy. Linda worked on this book for a long, long time, and it's based on her past experience as a stenographer in the Atlanta PD back in the 70s. I'm very proud of her for doing this book. I'm very proud of her for putting it out there. I'm very proud of her for being brave enough to become an indie author. You know, we can write all day long. We write in journals, we write stories we know that will never be seen. But when we take that step to put it out there, that takes courage. I understand that firsthand. I know that you have a story, and I know that you want that story to be read, if by nobody but your family. But to hold a newly released print book in your hand that you have written, that you have lost sleep over, that you have thought about, that you have fleshed out, that you have become friends with, sometimes frenemies with, it's important to you. It is part of your legacy for your family after you're gone, whether it's children, nieces, nephews, friends. I encourage every one of you who want to become an author, who have written, who want to see it in print, to contact us. We don't charge. We have very few requirements. We just ask that you believe in the process. And it is a process. Can't wait to see what else Ellie Ryan brings to Midnight Publishing. I am so proud of her. So very, very proud of her. Because she took that step. She said, "What do you think?" And I said, "Let's do it." That book's been sitting there for a hot minute. The very first book that I published, I started in the 1970s. It was called Dreamcatcher, Failure Was Never an Option. And it is about my brother, who is 13 months younger than me, who is mentally and physically challenged, born in 1952, at a time when the challenged were put away, put in a back room, given excuses for their existence, not pushed beyond what they thought they could do, and basically was left to just exist until they died. That did not happen with my brother. My mother's philosophy was this: your brain is a muscle, and if you don't exercise that muscle, it atrophies. So even with limited resources, which were slim and none, my brother blossomed. He reached heights he never knew he could. He went to school when they said he couldn't. He graduated high school when they said he wouldn't. He and my younger brother had a pepper route at 6 and 7 years old. Yes, I know. I started work at 5, so don't get excited. He went to school half a day in high school and then went to a workshop in downtown Atlanta on a bus when they said that he wouldn't. He has been working in the public all of his life. He bowled on a league for over 20 years, and his goal was to bowl a 200. He called me one day all excited and speaking in unknown tongues, and I had to slow him down, and he said, "I did it, I bowled a 200. Now this was a young man who was never supposed to be anything but a piece of flesh in a chair. He is the one that inspired me to do what I do. He is the one that inspired me to push myself beyond what other people thought about me, about my abilities, about my dreams, because he never allowed anyone to dictate his dreams. They were his dreams. He always said he could because he didn't believe that he couldn't. He went to work as Publix. He told the manager at Publix he did not want to be in janitorial services anymore. And the manager said, "What do you want to do?" He said, "I want to stock." Now, ladies and gentlemen, if you've ever worked in retail, stocking is not just putting something on a shelf, especially in a grocery store. Stocking is unloading a truck, checking it against the manifest, then putting it on a shelf, moving the old stock forward and putting the new stock in the back. It's called rotation. Stanley learned how to do that. He was so good at it that one night they closed the store. He was in the back working, did not hear that the store was closing, and they locked him in the store. Didn't upset him, he just spent the night there. The next morning, when the store opened, Stan was still there. So from then on, they had to make sure that Stanley understood that the store was closing so that he didn't get locked in again. But it's that dedication to his dreams that has kept me on this path of not quitting. And believe me, there's been times I wanted to quit. But when I see a young man with challenges, mental and physical challenges, who refuses to quit, who am I? How do I get to quit? He got encephalitis when he was 9 months old, and it debilitated the part of his brain that controls coordination and speech function. He was also club-footed and had to wear a cast. He overcame those obstacles because he could. He didn't talk until he went to school because his body was so busy trying to play catch up with movement and with coordination and with doing other things that verbalization was not important until he went to school. He learned to read in school because he made himself overcome that challenge. He wanted to overcome that challenge. He wanted to learn. So when I talk to a writer who says, I want to write but, I want to publish but, there's no buts in my business. Because I look at my brother, and there was no buts in his life. He did what he wanted to do when he wanted to do it. Came to Florida twice a year. Stayed at my parents' condo by himself. Flew into Orlando. Or rode the bus down to Orlando. Took a taxi over to the beach where the condos were. This is not a man who used excuses of his challenges to keep him from being the best he could be. Stop using excuses. You find the time to do what you want to do if it becomes important enough. My author, Mary Brotherton, and I were talking yesterday, and we were talking about time. She's got all these things she wants to do, and she says, God, you're going to have to let me live to 130-something. And the response was, you have all the time you need. So, ladies and gentlemen, we all have 24 hours in a day. Yes, we're busy. We're all busy. But if you write one paragraph, just one paragraph a day, or you write one chapter a day, or if you research one thing a day and start building your book, it's progress. If you have a dream, do not use excuses. They're not acceptable. Because that's all they are, is excuses. Because in your heart, you really think you're not enough, and you are. I will leave you with that. Take Ellie Run as a prime example. I cannot wait for this book to go live. Linda, I'm so proud of you, my dear. I am so proud of the people that have come to Midnight Publishing and said, I have a book. because you took a chance. On the 20th, Andrea Dean Van Scoyak's book, The Mercenary Files, goes live. She's done a soundtrack. I had it up on Spotify. They took it down because they said they wanted words to, like a podcast to go with it. So I got to reconfigure that. Bonnie Clark's book, Errol's Journey, goes live on the 20th. Steep Steps by Mary Brotherton. Secrets by L.A. Ryan. And Where's Wags by Rose Padrick, who is sending me another book. I'll go live on the 27th. Carol Speardoss's little book, Delilah the Flamingo and Her Christmas Town, go live on November the 3rd. I am working on the second of the Murder in the Village series. It's called Duct Tape, Tarp, and a Shovel. And if you haven't yet read The Pink Canary, Shady Rest, and Murder in the Village, please do, because you get introduced to the characters in the second book. You get to see why the second book is as rowdy as it is. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for all of your support, for supporting the authors that we have, for sharing everything that we put up, because when one person shares to another person, that person shares and it builds. And this is what we as indie authors have to do. I have more little shorts coming. I'll be working on that today. Jason Gerhardt's little book, The Ferryman, I'm going to do a short. It's a paranormal detective book. It will just set you on edge. It's a wonderful book. I will be putting a bunch of them up today. Gwendolyn Law's book, September's Chill. If you are in a domestic violence relationship, or if you know someone that is, this is a good time to get them that book. Gwendolyn not only survived, she is thriving. This is her story. Domestic violence is one of the largest killers of men and women in this country and in the world. You can come out on the other side stronger and better. Kim Carmichael's little book, Trophy Doctor, it's a little romance book. Check it out. She has come on board with us. Who else have we got? Alta Desanoid and Peggy Engler write spiritual, inspirational books. They are wonderful books, especially for women and young girls. Men read them too. They can be used as devotionals, as teaching aids, in a Bible class. Let's see who else. Linda Humphrey, Cornfield Flyers of East Tennessee. Read that book. These are stories written by children that Linda gathered from these children and put them in this great little children's book. Mary Brotherton's two children's books, My Angel Book and Sally's Heart. You need those. It's getting that time of year where you're looking for gifts for children. Books are great. Get them off the electronics. Let them read. And read to them. Thank God my mother read to me as a child, because my love for reading has never ceased. I was reading on 4th and 5th grade level in 1st grade. I was reading the dictionary and the encyclopedia in 7th grade. My love for reading, my love for history, my love for learning has never ceased. It's only gotten larger. Then we have Isaac Jones's book, Butler and Lester. Butler and Lester are enemies. Butler is a cat, Lester is a mouse. This is a story that Isaac wrote many, many years ago for his children. It is an interactive little book. It's a coloring book, a story book, and a thought processing book. All of these books can be found on Amazon. And then we have Sherry Ann Wilder. I'm so proud of this woman because, again, This was another 25-year dream that Sherry had, called The Chocolate Lover's Garden. And her second book, Under the Dragon's Eye. These books are magnificent. The Chocolate Lover's Garden is a cookbook, a baker's book, a history book, and a gardening book. It is for all ages. It is phenomenal. It is pricey, but it is so worth the investment. All of these books make great Christmas gifts. They're on Kindle. Most of them are on Audible. They're in paperback. Many of them are on hardcover. So say you've got somebody 3 states over you're not going to see, but you want to send them something for Christmas. Drop ship them a book. It's real easy. You put their address in, you pay for it, goes right to them. They have a Kindle, they'd rather read on Kindle or listen to Audible, gift them an Audible. Gift them a Kindle. Our children's books are up on Kindle, which is an amazing tool for children. So with that being said, I will wish you a good day. May you all have the day you deserve. We go live on our podcast Wednesdays at 10:30 in the morning on my Off the Chain page here on Facebook and on YouTube, on my channel on YouTube. Visit our website at midnight-publishing.org. Meet all of our authors. See what they're doing. Support them. They've worked hard for their craft. Have the day you deserve.